We've discussed formative evaluation, process evaluation, and impact evaluation. Now we're going to talk about needs assessments. The reasons that we oftentimes do needs assessment is specifically to determine if there's a need for a program based on the data that we're actually collecting, which I'll discuss in a couple of minutes. We're also conducting needs assessments to determine what services are the most appropriate for the need of clients given the data that we've collected. I want to say that what needs assessments are able to offer us are valuable information for program planning. And that valuable information for program planning allows us to target services for groups of clients. We want to make sure that we're intentional in targeting those services. It also allows us to identify how will we actually publicize the services. And if you remember, when we talked about formative evaluation and process evaluation, this really speaks to how is it that individuals come in contact with programs to then provide the services that have been created for clients to be part of programs. The next thing around what needs assessments are able to offer us is just an approximation of identifying individuals who would actually benefit from the actual program. But to be able to benefit from the actual program, we also want to think about what are the potential barriers that clients would potentially experience in accessing the services in the program. And the last piece really sits with social demographic information about the prospective client's rights. So it gives us that data collection to know what are the specific social demographic information that we would actually need to know about our prospective clients. So the layers I want us to think about is why is it that we actually conduct needs assessment? The first piece that I want us to think about is that we're conducting needs assessments because it allows us to explore an ongoing problem with a client, with clients or population. In this, we're able to decide if there are sufficient clients and community residents or staff with a particular problem to justify the creation of a new program. This also allows us to begin to identify how will we prioritize the needs for the services, and what will we need to do to actually allocate the resources to be able to implement the services. And the last piece really sits with it allows us to verify if other interventions or resources address a particular existing problem. So, what we're partly doing with the needs assessment is one, we are identifying if there is an ongoing problem and are enough individuals experiencing this specific problem that will warrant creation of a new program. But also, once we know there is a need, how will we intentionally make sure that we allocate the necessary resources for the services in the program? And it allows us to also assess, are there other programs or existing interventions that already may address this existing issue? The other reason that we do needs assessments is we find out if the existing interventions that are known are acceptable to our prospective clients. Where are the potential gaps in those existing interventions that may not be meeting the needs of clients? We also are interested in finding out what are barriers that clients are experiencing in accessing the actual services. And the last piece is that it informs us um, in understanding how to tailor a program to meet the needs of that specific target population. So, how is it that we do this? There are many ways that we actually collect data in needs assessments. The first one I'll talk about is existing data. And that existing data, we oftentimes do a secondary data analysis. So, for example, that existing data could be US Census data that provides its data on our population of interest in specific neighborhoods and across different blocks. So it gives us this big social demographic picture of who our potential clients are or who the potential population is, who may be in need of a program. The next one is social determinants. And social determinants measure social conditions by demographic and participation of programs to determine if social conditions are actually improving, remaining the same, or deteriorating. They are able to provide estimates on the effects of programs that have been in place. So this lets us know what is the actual status of or social conditions of actual individuals. Is there an improvement in their social conditions? Are they remaining the same, or are they actually deteriorating? Another approach you want to think about are key informants in how we employ needs assessment methods. And key informants include individuals whose position or experience should provide some knowledge of the magnitude and the distribution of the program. They are informed about the given program because of training or work experience, usually because they are involved with the population of interest in one way or the other. They're able to provide good information about the target population, target clients, and the services that they may need. The next layer that we want to think about is in nominal groups. Nominal groups involves a small group of persons responding to a common problem or question, and they work independent initially. Then they share out their ideas. A group leader asks each member to offer an idea. It's documented. Once ideas are exhausted, they're collapsed and ranked by importance. So nominal groups, when we think about them, right, in their application, what we're aiming to do is we're bringing individuals together. They're first responding to a common problem independently. And then the facilitator is gathering all the responses. And as they gather all the responses, what they're then doing is documenting those responses, but then speaking with each other around which ones are the most important ones. And then they actually rank order the importance of what they come up with in terms of the responses. A Delphi technique is a little bit like the nominal groups, but it varies in terms how it's applied. The Delphi technique oftentimes uses questionnaires that are distributed to key informants or experts, in which ideas are solicited and then compiled. If there are disagreements among how individuals are responding to the actual questionnaire, oftentimes what will happen is another questionnaire is sent out based on those responses. Um, and this process continues until consensus is actually reached. So what's partly happening is that a questionnaire has been sent out around the issue at hand. If the responses return and there's a lot of disagreement, what then happens next is that based on those responses, a new one is sent out, and then the point is to generate consensus among those who are actually responding. The last one that I'll talk about are focus groups. And groups are bringing together selected persons for a discussion on a particular topic under the guidance of an actual facilitator. So oftentimes in a focus group, there is a particular issue at hand, and everybody is asked questions around that specific issue, and everybody is asked to actually respond. So you're generating a lot of different potential responses around that specific social issue. And quickly, the last one is surveys. And surveys are actually exactly that. A set of questions that can now get sent out to a lot of different individuals who may actually have contact with the target population or target clients. Individuals return to surveys, they respond to them, and then an analysis is actually done that allows us to then identify Does this warrant the creation of a new program? And if it does, what are the sets of services that would be most beneficial to the target population? So the connections I want us to kind of make then around needs assessment and all the other pieces of program evaluation that we've discussed throughout the semester is oftentimes a needs assessment is where we may begin. And I say where we may begin because this allows us to identify if there is a need to a program. However, needs assessments are not only necessary for determining if there is a need for a program, but are also equally relevant for established programs, in particular related to restructuring a program. If we know that the services that are being provided are not well suited to meet the needs of our target clients, then we may actually have to start redo a needs assessment, because what we're learning through this process is this, right? So the needs assessment allows us to know, is there a need for a program? That need has been identified. Services have actually been created. Informative evaluation, what we're now doing is this is the initial stages of the program. So we're interested in really generating information to help form and stabilize the program, right? So there's now clients in the program, they're receiving services, but we want to make sure that we have stabilized the program so that the clients are actually receiving the services that we've laid out. Whereas we're in process evaluation, we're monitoring different pieces, right? We're monitoring um, how the program is being implemented, right? And particularly, um, are we actually fully engaging the clients that we said the services were for? How did we engage them? How do we make sure they're part of the program, that they remain in the program? Uh, but what are the organizational structures that we've created in the program that ensure that clients have access to the actual services in the program, to make sure that individuals who implement the program actually have been trained to implement the program? And how do we monitor then the outcomes of program participants while they're in the program as well? It also provides the context, now that we know what the program is about, describing the program and holding, right? What we said in class is that process evaluation is assessing if we've actually reached the program goals. And if we have, we begin to understand how we reach them. But if we have not, then we actually have to think about why haven't we actually reached them? Because when we get to actual outcome evaluation, we're now interested in knowing if the program actually works. So when we get to outcome evaluation and we learn that the program does not work, this is the place where programs may actually have to do a needs assessment again, because this will allow them to understand, one, did we have the right services in place for the needs of the clients in the program? Did we have the right clients that were receiving the program as a whole? So as we move forward, I don't want us to think that this process around how we engage the different modalities of program evaluation are really linear in nature, right? Because each process is really identifying how is it that we improve programs so that they ultimately benefit the clients and the communities that the programs are targeting.